Hello, everybody, and good evening. Welcome back to the Heroes Challenger Invitational. I'm Arrow. I'll be your caster tonight. That is Alice, my good friend, who is just saying hello, making sure that everybody is aware of her presence. Come on, really. Tonight we got a matchup for you between 30k and Can't Censorship, as we get into some, high-level Heroes of the Storm play. And, what's going to be really exciting about tonight is that there was just a patch not but a few hours ago. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the teams adapt to that. I'm going to try to have that available so that I can kind of reference back to it, because I haven't done a deep dive into all of the details. So, we'll kind of learn about it all together. Team 2 has first pick. Okay, sorry. Doing a couple of things here, trying to get set up, because I had to create the game as well. So that being said, let's take a quick look at our maps, and then we can double check with the team, see if they're all ready to go, and then get this game going. All right, so for maps, we've got two bans from each team. Our left team, 30k, they banned out Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple. And then CCS, they banned out Garden of Terror and Alterac Pass. Our first map tonight's going to be Battlefield of Eternity, and that was selected by 30k. So here we go. Okay, this game takes forever sometimes to start the draft. I was like, what's going on? Thank you for changing the title, Goliath. Appreciate it. All right, so on the left, we've got 30k. On the right, we've got Can't Censorship. As we get into the beginning of the draft here, and pulling up the... Oh, I put it on the wrong page. Let's go back over here. Okay, there we go. So quite a few heroes did get changed today. Morales got a rework overall, so, I don't know if they actually have her officially banned out. Usually the NGS rule is that for 2 weeks, those heroes that have been reworked are completely off the table. So I'm not sure if that is appropriate for this as well. But we're going to see Hogger being banned first. Morales not a hero that was, picked super often in regular play. But still, with reworked heroes, it throws a bit of a wrench into the whole planning, because you may not know what that hero does effectively. So if one team can get a quick look at and maybe get some playtime in, then they can certainly get an advantage. But we did see some nerfs onto heroes like Blaze and Asmodan. Artanis got some buffs. Dahaka got some buffs, some adjustments to some of the other healers. So Blaze still going to be taken out. They reduced his damage so that his kill pressure is not quite as strong, but he's still a pretty strong hero. He's got that AoE stun. He's got the bunker of negate whatever bad you want to do. But Lucio also receiving some adjustments to his slip talent, also mixing fire, and then a little bit of a reduction on his high five. So getting rid of the Lucio, even with those reductions to his kit. And our first pick tonight is going to be Vala. And Vala was not one of the heroes that had any adjustments today. So still overall a very strong hero. Also a very, very strong race hero. So not a big surprise to see the Vala here on Battlefield of Eternity. But in answer, we're going to get a Li Ming and a Nubarak. So Li Ming also able to put out some pretty good race potential. And then with the Nubarak could potentially soak up some of those Hungering Arrow shots, but also could use that Cocoon to isolate one member of the team and help the team to set up some pretty big combo plays there. Gonna get Anduin and Mei for the other side here. So for CCS, and if I remember correctly, we saw a fair bit of Mei last week when CCS was playing. I could be completely making that up. I think I am making that up. Maybe in one game. Chromie also going to be banned out. Chromie, another mage that can put out pretty respectable race potential here onto the Immortal. And our final ban for CCS coming up in just a moment. It'll be interesting to see if any of the adjusted heroes get a higher pick priority or a ban priority. Malfurion going to be taken out. The Malfurion's really, I really like that ban. Having the potential for roots, setting up Li Ming's combo, being able to combo off of a Nubarak, getting any of his stuns or the cocoon, that's a really strong counter. But there's the Tyrande. So Tyrande was one of those heroes that did get some adjustments, and it sounds like she's going to be even stronger for Battlefield of Eternity. So really excited to see how she plays out here, and what they may do with that talent build. Thrall going to be picked up here as well, and we'll have to see whether that's going to be a 4-man Thrall or if that's going to be an off-lane Thrall. So still high damage potential there. The team fight potential as well, being able to use Earthquake or Sunder could really help to set up some plays here. Gonna get Yrel and Cassia, so we got lots of blind potential between Mei and Cassia to potentially slow down what Tyrande can bring. And Yrel. And our last pick is gonna be Genji. All right, so there is your draft. Goliath, if you want to set up a prediction for the channel points, we can do that now. We've got our drafts. So who do you guys think has the advantage here? I mean, we've got some pretty good race and some very strong heroes on both sides. I mean, the potential, I think the damage potential, the race potential really goes over on the side of 30k. I really feel like with Hunter's Mark, the Li Ming, the Thrall Genji, like they can put out a lot of direct single target damage onto the Immortal. There's still a fair bit on the side of CCS as well, but I think they're going to be looking more for disruption and team fights. Thanks for doing that, Goliath. All right, well, we'll be getting into the game here in just a moment. And as a reminder, this is a best of 3 set. These are teams that are, looking to showcase their talent, see potentially if they can break into that CCL scene, ultimately the top tier of Heroes of the Storm. Here we go. On the left, we've got 30k. It's going to be Lupus here on the Anubarak. We've got Carbon on Li Ming. Lily going to be playing the Genji. Kelsier on the Thrall. And Tyrande going to be played by Nintori. And over to the right, we've got Can't Censor Ship. We got Marlowe playing the Vala Hacho on the Mei. Zenaris there on the Anduin. We got Nano playing the Cassia. And Nathanatos on the Yrel. And the other aspect, and we're going to see this already out of the gate, is we've got Genji here. And Genji's going to look to try to rotate, get quick picks, and then go back and help the team. So fully expect to see a little bit of that opportunity here. And actually, Genji looking to hop over this wall, maybe trying to take this well. And Tyrande sending out that owl does have some vision for these members, but more importantly, can Genji get the damage onto that well? And of course, taking that well down provides a lot of value to his solo laner there, Kelsier. So 3 and 2 split here with Genji Thrall versus the Yrel and Cassia. Blind coming out, but Tyrande coming up and Genji gonna secure that first kill. As the rotation coming in, they're looking for the Cassia. Big stuns, and Nano gonna be the second one going down. Lily diving in, taking some tower shots, gets pushed away by the Mei, but the rotation not quick enough for to save any of those heroes there. Taking a look at our talents here, so Marlowe going into that lone talent for Vala. Is it Creed of the Hunter? Yeah. So getting that bonus attack speed, that does reduce with each death. And oh my goodness, Marlowe just out of there at the last possible frame, it feels like. Hacho trying to get the combo out onto the Anubrak, but with enough of a team here, and just the Vala couldn't really do anything too significantly to the Anubrak. But Cassia coming down, Yrel also rotating down. They're going to try to focus on getting this camp in the bottom lane. Thrall, not amazing wave clear, so they've got a little bit of time to be able to pick this up. And especially with Genji being so low, having to go back, this is just going to be a free opportunity for CCS. We'll have to see, can Kelsier get any significant advantage out of this? So already quite a bit of damage onto that tower. And Genji up here may be able to help make sure that that gets secured. But down in the bot lane, that leaves them 4 versus 3. And with that camp, getting a little bit of pressure here. No significant structure damage just at the moment, but the siege camp just made it up here. And that's it. We're going to pull back and get started over here on the Shaman camp. Getting those out for our first Immortal phase coming up in 10 seconds. 30k doing the same, rotating in onto the blue side Shaman. And Yrel getting the opportunity to pick up a little bit of soak here. I imagine that Thrall will be able to make it there in time to pick up the rest of that. So should continue to be a very slight XP advantage on the side of 30k, at least for a moment. Because Thrall's going to be able to pick up that XP. But that gives a moment for CCS to put in a little bit of pressure or head down and clear up the lane. Yrel hiding behind, looking for an opportunity, has the vision from their allies here, jumping in, looking for the Tyrande, gets a knockback stun into the Blizzard, and Tyrande looking pretty low, but is able to survive this, gets the Lunar Flare, double stun here, as the Immortal getting a stun as well. Nintori doing absolutely everything to try to stay alive, as Marlowe now under pressure from Lily, but no deaths here. Marlowe able to make it out, but the Li Ming orb saying, hey, we're not done with you. Hacho trying to put out that Blizzard, isolate maybe that Tyrande, but not quite enough. And pretty much both teams looking to go back and hit onto their well. But all the time, CCS getting pretty significant value here. Vala completely isolated from the rest of her team, but Anduin with that leap of faith. The knockback coming in, and Nubrak may be the first kill here for CCS, and that is going to be the go-ahead to trigger that halftime. Yrel not done, wants this Tyrande, but can't quite keep up with those instant cast heals. And just as mentioned, they really are looking for these fights, but those fights they're taking under the Immortal there. Yrel nearly getting that stun onto Carbon with the Immortal, and that would have been absolutely devastating if Li Ming had gotten stunned there. But overall, about 30% of the Immortal left here. Slight XP advantage over to 30k, at least for a moment. They're going to be able to pick up these globes and head up and start the defense against the Immortal. A little bit of structure damage to the wall and one of the towers down here in favor of 30k. And Thrall coming in from behind. Has the Anubrak as well. They're going to be looking for a stun. Didn't get it onto the Vala. Did get the root. The dive coming in from Anubrak. Not quite able to get that stun as the Leap of Faith coming in. And even the Chain Lightning, just not enough to get that Vala. Vala making it out by the skin of her teeth so many times in this. And keeping up that Creed of the Hunters. So no drop on those just yet. Still that full 20% from that level 1 talent. You see the Danger Ping's got this stun. Follow up Lunar Flare there. Unstoppable Cryo Freeze coming out. But Li Ming having to teleport away, gets caught by Hacho. And Nubarak as well down below there, able to make it out. So once again, no significant resources used just at the moment here. A little bit of value in the bot lane because of that Immortal pressure in the top. So about even with what they've lost in the top lane so far. But right now, the structure advantage certainly going over to Can't Censorship. And once again, picking up the top camp this time, while 30k has that siege camp in the bottom lane. With 2 heroes down here looking to clear up this lane and probably get out. Maybe not. Maybe they're looking to go for this Vala. We've got that Genji here. So if Vala gets low once again, Genji's on the hunt looking for that quick kill. Level 10's coming up any time now. In just a moment here, they'll have these cleared out in the bot lane, and that should give probably CCS is going to get 10 just a moment ahead. There's Shaman coming in for both sides. There should be game sound. It might be fairly quiet, but it's there. I'll try turning it up just a touch for you. I try not to go too crazy on it because it certain heroes really cause a lot of bass to come through. And at this, both teams just going to continue on the race for triggering halftime. They've got the Immortals on their own side here, and Yrel gonna try to get some soak there in the bottom lane, get a little bit of value onto that camp. So just checking in here, how does this look? Cleared out the lane, but camp still is here, and both teams now working from a defensive position. But that gives Yrel a little bit of advantage there. Looking for that Li Ming. But that's it for now. They're all up in the top lane trying to clear out, making sure that the minions don't get too close to the fort. It is exposed, no towers there. Cocoon going out onto Vala, looking for the stun onto the Mei, but there's the avalanche coming through. Doesn't hit anybody, but Yrel deep into the backline does not get caught by the stun. But Li Ming does, the root coming out onto Lupus as well. As Nano Cassia there gets the blind out onto Tyrande. So a little bit slower here. Genji coming in with the Dragon Blade, looking for the kill onto Cassia. They get it, but the trade for Li Ming. Nathanatos proccing that Ardent Defender. So Yrel going to be just fine, but Genji trying to 1v1 with the Mei over here. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but Yrel might have gotten a little bit too deep, but it's okay. Leap of faith. Anduin says, I got you. Get over here. And with Vala sitting on the Immortal now, race complete, and it's gonna go over to the blue team because they had everybody down here working on it a little bit faster than Vala couldn't quite keep up with that. Once again, Immortal coming into the top lane. There's a little bit of damage down here. The Shaman got a little bit of value taking out that full wall. Thrall and Yrel rather going to be doing their thing in the bottom lane there. We'll try to keep an eye out to see if they do anything exciting. Vala's gonna get put into Cocoon. The dive coming in just barely misses, but the Lunar Flare does hit, and that's gonna be it. Li Ming getting the kill out onto the Vala. Ball Lightning coming in, bouncing all over the side of 30k, but that's it. And we see the pings called out for Lupus. I wonder if that ping was to say, hey, great Cocoon, or by the way, you missed. You mistimed that. I don't know. It depends on your teammates, right? Could be either way. But that's going to be the first fort of the game going over to the side of 30k, and we see that that snowball there from Mei trying to dismount, trying to catch that Tyrande. But Tyrande juked because she wanted to mount. Level 13's here for 30k. They've got a short window of an advantage. And there that window goes as level 13's now here for CCS. Looking for the Vala again. There's the Sunder. Vala now with the Rain of Vengeance. Lupus in a bit of a dangerous place here. Missed with the Avalanche as Genji having to use Dragon Blade to get away. Yrel's going to get put into the Cocoon. No stun available from Anubrak. I think Anubrak's just going to try to walk away in Hearth. Yeah, didn't have any way to disengage, but now Li Ming in a danger place, pulling the team over to the Anubrak. But Vala getting caught here, has the Genji using deflect, but Tyrande is not going to make it out in the back. And we see, looks like 2 members going to be able to sneak away. This seems to be the Hearthstone sneak point over here. 3 members able to make it away. So the 1 kill there onto the Tyrande. 4 kills to 3 so far in the game. Not a high kill count game. Take a look at some of these other stats, though. XP wise, pretty close. And we can see that, of course, in the bars. But look at some of the difference here. Yrel, 9,400. Thrall, almost 11,000. Yrel now 10. Pretty even. The 1 structure down gives a little bit of the passive bonus to 30k, but it's so slight. And 30k already on the race here. Again, Lupus trying to stall out CCS, but already 20-25% of that immortal has gone down. So realistically, 30k's got the potential to be able to play this a little bit slowly. They've got this camp in the bot lane, and they've got a camp that's eventually going to pressure in the top lane, but they have catapults potentially, and that camp is close to them, so they could just sneak up and kill it, which it looks like exactly is what they're going to do right now. Nubrak's going to try to stall out, though, because showing in that lane gives CCS the go-ahead to make it. They've got quite a bit to make up, though. Li Ming sitting over that wall, just waiting for a stun so she can get a kill here. Genji putting the pressure out onto Vala, sitting at half health, but Mei is the one who's quite low here. Vala now going to go down the Rain of Vengeance, not quite in time, as Mei getting taken out as well. Double pick up there on the Avalanche, and Nano, the 3rd to fall. Triple kill here for 30k, potentially looking for that Yrel, but Yrel's going to make it out there. She's got the quick speed there from that Hand of Freedom. And the first immortal, no, the second immortal of the game. Second immortal of the game going over to 30k, because they got that last one too. But as mentioned earlier, they're now looking for that Yrel. She should have Hand of Freedom here soon. But really, she's just leading them on a chase. That's going to give CCS the opportunity now to clear up the immortal pretty easily, I would think. And having that 16 advantage, that's probably, you know, a pretty high value for Yrel to trade. I mean, it's a death, but getting most of this immortal cleared up. Yeah, they lose their fort, but they were already going to lose that fort probably either way, especially with that talent advantage. Anubrak, however, getting in onto the Mei, having to use the cryo freeze, is going to be able to use that icing to get away. The immortal stun, a long cast time there for that one. Of course, the melee one a little bit less. And we see there from Tyrande, those owls reducing the damage of CCS, so really helping to stall things out, make the process take longer to kill the immortal, and also keep her team a little bit safer as well. Meanwhile, bot lane coming in, looking for the bot camp. Going to be done very quickly, far more quickly than CCS can make it up into the top to pick up the top camp. So at this point, it's a long time. 30k says, that's fine. You want that camp, we'll take a keep. Yrel's coming in from behind, did get caught by the owl, so no chance for the surprise there. They don't have Anduin just yet, but he doesn't need to be right up in the front anyway, so no big deal. Anubrak caught in the back, is now bouncing that ball lightning all over. However, Light Bomb could catch the Genji stun. Hacho going to be the first to fall, and the trade for Genji, so 1 for 1 at the moment. Looking for the stun onto the Yrel. They get the resets out onto Anduin, another onto Vala, another onto Cassia, and that's it. A full team wipe. CCS is dominated. And with that keep already low, 30K making their way to the core. Yeah, they don't have their Genji, but they've got Li Ming. They've got Siege minions here, 2 of which are busy. They got caught up on this tower over here. But it's all right. They're going to be able to take game number 1 on Battlefield of Eternity for 30K. $13 kills to 4. That was a very close game in kill count. For the most part, it started off early for CCS, a little bit in favor of them with the structure damage. And then once we got into that level 10 range, that second Immortal, it really started to open up for 30K and eventually, you know, march their way to victory there. All right, so experts in chat, what do you think of this, the new Tyrande build? I mean, this looks pretty similar to what I've seen in the past, right? I mean, this is pretty much normal, I think. I don't play a lot of Tyrande, so you guys tell me. Porky says Nintori Tyrande is unbeatable. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, it looked absolutely, you know, polished and really tough for CCS to play into there. All right, so let's see if we, let's see, come over here so that I can hopefully get where they're going. Try to keep track of what's going on there. So, all right, so game number 1 going over to 30K, our match between 30K and CCS. CCS last week took a 2-0 victory over Regen. I know that because I cast it. I don't actually know how 30K did in their matchup against Storm. So if anybody happens to know, my guess is that there's 1 or 2 of you in chat that does happen to know. At the very least, Goliath, and I imagine that Porky or Slexia probably have some feedback on that. That was the late show last week. Oh, here we go. So it looks like we are going to go to Infernal Shrines. All right, there we go. So how's everybody doing tonight? 2-0. There you go. Thanks, Lexia. Appreciate it. So team. Yeah, I mean, based on how 30K played this game, that I mean, that doesn't really surprise me to know that they had a 2-0 last week. I mean, CCS looked pretty strong against Regen, but 30K looked really strong here once that game opened up a little bit for them. So it's going to be up to CCS here now to find a way to make sure that that second half of the game goes a little bit more in their favor, and maybe that's an adjustment in draft, maybe that's an adjustment in play, or it's a different map. This map plays quite differently from Battlefield of Eternity. Still a very strong objective map, but a different kind of objective. All right, let's see, make sure everybody's on the right place. Oh, they are. All right, got to find out who picked the map. But I can show you the maps. Let's go back to that real quick. Let's see, first pick is left. So our map selection is from CCS. So there you go. Bans tonight from 30K, our blue team, were on Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple. CCS banned out Alterac Pass and Garden of Terror. And our first map selected and won by 30K, our blue team. All right, so let's see. Left, Thanatos says ready. That's good, that's good. All right, we should be ready to go pretty quickly here, which is nice. We had some difficulties last week, some technical difficulties with getting things going, so it's nice that we're moving through. We got the teams together at a consistent pace. Who let Carbon have Ming, says Slexia. Oh man, talking about noodles and pho and pizza. All right, looks like they're ready. Here we go. It's always anticlimactic. You hit the start button, you wait around for 5-10 seconds, and then you get your game. All right, so we'll see if some of these same bands stick around. The Hogger and Blaze from CCS, Stukov, Lucio. I feel like all of those heroes could still do really well on Infernal, and we're at least going to get that Stukov coming out. That said, the question for CCS is really, you know, were there any heroes that 30K had that they really don't want to see? Like Slexia mentioned, is it maybe the Li Ming? Is it the Tyrande? Like, how much value did they have? Is it the Genji? The Cocoons from Anubrak? What was it that really set up the plays for 30K to make sure that they were able to ultimately secure that victory in the end? It's going to be Brightwing, actually. So sticking with the healer bands, does that leave them the Lucio? Or do they look to ban the Lucio? Instead, it's going to be Junkrat. I think that's a great ban. Having the traps here for vision. I had a long discussion about that last week, about how much value Junkrat was able to provide. I don't remember which map that was on. Was it Infernal? Yeah, it was Infernal, actually. So there you go. Blaze going to be the first pick here, this time going to Lily. So Lily, the Genji from last game. See if they end up swapping it all. Marlowe going back into the Vala, and then Hacho with the Uther. Gonna see Malfurion. It could happen. It could happen with either team at this point. I think if 30K wants it, this is the time for them to take it, because I don't think they're gonna get it if they let it go to a ban. So Tychus and Diablo. So keeping their options open there for that healer and their additional DPS. CCS now still needs a healer, still needs an offlaner, and probably some kind of wave clear in general. Medivh, the third and final ban here for CCS. Coming up on that last ban now for 30K. What do they not want to see? You know, maybe it's something crazy like a butcher, right? Right? They would do that in this kind of a game, right? Oriole going to be banned out. Oh, they don't want to have the excuse me, the eternal heals with that Vala battery. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Urel again. A lot of disruption there to help protect the team. Instead, going to be Dahaka. So Dahaka did get some adjustments in today's patch. Zenaris going into the Ana. Ana Uther, a pretty common combination there. All right, let's check out what did we get for Dahaka today. Oh, he had quite a bit. Gonna be the Deckard and Tassadar. So Deckard really helps to set up a lot of combination plays with his roots, his sleeps, potentially some Lornados. Can also combo off of, say, a Diablo charge or a Blaze stun. Still a lot of different ways they can play this. They've got the Tassadar now for the Force Walls. Can again set up those kind of plays. Final pick going to be Deathwing. So Deathwing says, hey, none of that stuff's going to work on me. Other than the Tassadar walls, of course. And let's just make sure they're not changing anything. Nope, looks like we're good over there. And there, okay, good. All right, well, there you go. There are our teams. So yeah, so Deathwing doesn't have to worry so much about all of those stuns. Does have to worry about the percent damage potential from Tassadar and Tychus, depending on what build Tassadar takes, of course. Be interested to see what direction Vala goes in as well. Because our Shrine Clear could be even... Dahaka did get an adjustment to his Dark Swarm on one of his talents there that gives him additional damage. So when he's dealing... I think it's with all minions and mercs. So maybe a little bit more Wave Clear or Shrine Clear on the side of CCS than originally anticipated. But let's get our teams introduced. On the right, we've got CCS, we've got Nano playing the Deathwing, we've got Marlowe on the Vala, Nathanatos on Dahaka, Hacho is going to play the Uther, and Zenaris on Ana. And over here to the left, we've got 30k, Nintori going to be playing the Deckard, Lupus on the Diablo, Kelsier on the Tassadar. Nintori going to play that Deckard, I already mentioned that. Who did I not get? Lily on the Blaze, and Carbon on Tychus. Blaze up above, looking for that stun. Did go in, trying to catch a hold of the Dahaka. Couldn't quite catch him, though. And it is going to be the Shockray, at least at level 1 for the Tassadar. Getting the flip onto Uther, charging him into the wall, but Lupus a little bit low. Going to get caught by the stun on the... from the Deathwing. There we go. And just not enough healing to come in as Dahaka going to finish the job there. Get that first kill for CCS. Up in the top, going to be a little Blaze versus Dahaka action. With the Deathwing rotating down to stick with that 4-man. Stay with the Uther for those stun combos. Vala trying to keep the pressure on with that heat. And it is going to be the multi-shot build for Vala as well. First camp going to be looked at here by 30k, but they do have the rotation coming in from just about everybody. Diablo getting put to sleep behind as Kelsey are going to get taken out. The sleep dart coming in with that anti-healing grenade, allowing them to secure that additional kill. So that's Siege Camp going over to CCS. And they were the slightly favored team at the beginning of last game as well. Looking a little bit stronger than they did even last game. So they're trying to get that lead as much as possible here. Got about a half a level of lead already. But being able to pick up all these camps and have that additional XP and lane pressure going to really help them when the objective comes up. Our first objective coming up soon here. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher. About 15 seconds, that'll start the counter. And Frozen Punisher, pretty much the strongest in the early game. Up in the top, Blaze having to use that jet propulsion to get away. Just about enough mana to do so. And both teams now heading to their Shaman camp. Want to get this out to have that pressure in the lane while working on this shrine. And neither team wants to just give up this Frozen Punisher, because the Frozen Punishers lock down those structures. Really want to be able to push with that. Speaking of push, in the middle already, half a tower down here in favor of CCS. And Nano just trying to use the lava to slow down the heroes of 30k. Can't remember that ability's name. Let's take a look. Lava burst. I knew it was lava. The floor is lava, guys. And it slows you down. Level 7 is pretty far off still. But the force wall, the electric fence there, blocking out pretty much everybody from the red team. Diablo diving in with that anti-healing grenade, though. Blaze having to pull back. Tychus all alone on an island here. Dahaka's gonna be able to sit with that Dark Swarm, but it's Vala who takes the kill and secures them level 7. So that they can continue this pressure on the shrine. They're a little bit behind on the overall number as 30k did get a start there. Dahaka just in time with that burrow, so did not get caught by the root from Deckard. Just about equal. Tychus on his way back, so taking a little bit longer for CCS to clear these, as they just don't, I kind of mentioned it early, they just don't have quite that same pressure, but gets the drag out onto Tassadar. Dahaka in the entire group with Cataclysm coming in, gets that stun out, and the Molten Flame not gonna be able to get a kill from that, but Diablo trying to make his way underneath will fall, and that's going to give CCS the first objective of the game. And with top lane providing pressure here, they've already got one tower down. Dahaka's going to be able to go pick up all of that leftover XP as well. And now Tychus up here to deal with that. Dahaka try to also take out that siege camp. Punisher going to jump over there onto the Tassadar, gets caught by the sleep dart. Vala diving in, didn't have a whole lot of mana, so had no real follow-up after that vault, but did get some damage as the Punisher shutting down mid fort. And right now it's looking real good for CCS getting this first fort of the game. Punisher jumping onto Tassadar, but doesn't really matter. CCS wanting to focus on the structure, make sure that they get that taken out. That's gone for the rest of the game. Having the rotation in here onto the siege camp. Again, Vala doesn't have a lot of mana. Blaze underneath, but they can't really do anything. Not enough time to get in there onto the siege camp before CCS is able to pick that up. So far, CCS has been in control of every camp with the exception of 30k's Shaman camp. Checking in on Blaze and Dahaka. Everything just fine. Hunky-dory up here. Neither one of them really strong, but able to keep the pressure on the left side here is Dahaka, while also getting that essence from the minions. Level 10 here now, and Dahaka has adaptation, so a little bit of an advantage for a moment to CCS. And so far with that advantage, able to pick up the siege camp in the bottom lane. Hacho taking about half of his health there in damage on the Uther. Just a few moments away from 30k getting their level 10s as well. Keep in mind though, Tychus is in the middle, Blaze up top. Dahaka can come down at any moment, so if at any point CCS feels they've got an advantage, which it looks like they're trying to make that advantage happen for Tychus, but they just didn't have enough speed to quite get there, especially with Deathwing. Deathwing doesn't walk places overly quickly. Diablo trying to catch up onto Deathwing there. And Tychus getting a little bit of damage in there. Tychus going into that Master Assassin. As yet, no kills, though, for the blue team. But just like we saw last game in that bottom lane, this time it's CCS going for the offside push. Working to get this top fort down. 30k doing the same now in the bottom lane. Trying to fight into the Deathwing. Tychus over there in the corner saying, guys, I'm taking all this damage here. So really significant advantage there for CCS, able to take down the structure. Also want to point out that it is the bellowing roar for Deathwing. Rotation coming in. Blaze is going to get a big stun, but his team's not quite here yet. Drag pulling him off the point, so that is going to go over to the red team. Sleep coming in, does catch the Uther. Can they make anything happen with this? Uther does still have the Divine Shield. Is he going to use it? He does. Stuns the Diablo, stays in there. And Electric Defense is going to come out, so it's just a Hawk in the back, but looking for the Tychus as Deathwing landing deep into the backline here. Big stun coming out, but it's not going to hit onto anybody, so Tychus will make it out. Blaze, however, looking for the Uther. And again, Blaze did receive some nerfs today, so his damage overall is a little bit lower. His Flame Stream doesn't reduce his Pyromania quite as much either. So he doesn't have that same kill pressure that he had 12 hours ago. Deckard walking right up into the Deathwing, and I have to say, if that was a... never mind. That was going to be dumb. Blaze coming in with the Jet Propulsion. Big Apocalypse, but the Cleanse coming out on Navala. Electric Fence, though. Can they get this? The big Bellowing Roar is going to isolate 3 heroes here. And the Fire Breath coming out. Lupus is going to fall. Tychus fell a moment ago as well. Tassadar is going to fall. Let's zoom all the way out. We've had both of them die there. But Diablo will be back. The advantage going over to CCS on with that talent tier, a triple kill, and the objective going to be able to push down in a lane. They've already taken down the full wall and tower, and this other tower, it's going to go down in about 2 hits. So this fort is pretty much a guaranteed structure down here for CCS. So there's fort number 2 for CCS, making their way onto the keep now. Immortal's still pretty healthy at 84%. Trying to get down that side wall just in case. Looking for whoever this Punisher jumps onto, see if they can't follow up. Get some CC and burn somebody down. Blaze getting pushed off to the side there. Just barely missing that stun. The tower causing some terrain issues there. Otherwise, that stun lands. But the fort down, keep wall all but down, except for that one tower. Now, Dahaka's heading up into the top lane. We'll see if 30k recognizes what's going on with the camp. They do recognize it, but instead, gonna head to pick up the lane. 13 to 16 right now on the XP here. Pretty significant advantage going over to CCS for the moment, as they pick over another camp. Let's show those 16s. I don't think I showed those. And the final camp in the bottom lane. And at this point, 30k is just trying to do everything that they possibly can to gather soak. And Uther's going to leave that. CCS wants this fight. They want to take the advantage while they've got it, while they've got their heroics available. And you see the danger pings. 30k does not want to take this fight. And this is huge. I mean, Dahaka able to continue pressuring in the off lanes, keep that soak up. While Blaze now working on the bottom lane to do the same thing, try to catch them up to that level 16 talent tier. And until then, CCS is able to just continue to provide this pressure with their long-range abilities between Vala and the Deathwing. Deathwing looking to walk down, maybe see if they can't catch this Blaze. Dahaka's coming in. Lily was looking for the Hearth there. There's a fort still here, so gets the jet propulsion. This is pretty much toast. Diablo coming in. They're looking to try to save the Blaze. I don't know that they really can. Yeah, there's the fear, and just at that, they say, you know what, there's nothing we can do here. Let's just back out. They lose the one hero. CCS gets that advantage, and with this time, they're going to pick up the bottom siege camp, get it sent out, and again, possibly look for another fight. They've got an advantage, a man advantage here on the map, while 30K just doing what they can to try to pick up another siege camp, shaman camp rather, send that out, just to kind of push things off and make sure that CCS can't pick it up. It also gives them enough XP to get to that level 16 and even out the talents. Still pretty far behind though. They're 2 3/4 or so levels down. And while that's not a talent, it is still a significant amount of health and percent damage that that they have an advantage for. But if they can get this kill onto the Dahaka, that would be absolutely huge, but it's not going to matter. Holy cow, the turnaround, and Dahaka getting that drag out onto Deckard, the quick rotation coming in, and that was it. And this is not the time that you want to have your healer down. Already almost halfway complete on the Shrine. CCS looking to pick up yet another Punisher. Mid lane still has a little bit of defense, but not a whole lot here. Almost as if they're mad about that Dahaka getting away and turning around and securing that kill onto Blaze, or I'm sorry, onto Deckard. Looked like they were maybe trying to hunt themselves the I don't know what he is. Zerg? He's Zerg, right? Level 20 is now available here for CCS. You can see they were looking to get that XP before pushing with the Immortal. Tychus gonna pop the Odin here. And the Electric Fence coming out just to keep CCS pushed back as far away as possible so that 30K can try to take out this Immortal. Big stun onto Dahaka. He's going to go ahead and burrow, though. He's got that movement. Blaze, a little bit far back, is going to get drugged back into the team. Drops the bunker. Stay a while is going to come out. Just enough time to get Blaze out. The Bellowing Roar going to force Tassadar back in fear. And that might be just about everything that CCS can get out of this. That Shock Ray doing a ton of damage, especially with that level 16, getting that 8% hero damage. Bringing Vala down to about half health. But with the 20 advantage, CCS able to just slightly poke at the keep, get a little bit of damage, keep it consistent. Ana able to stay quite far back, doesn't have any significant pressure there. Blaze gets a slow out, but not able to get the stun. Well, he does get the stun out onto Vala, but again, a little bit far forward to try to follow up, and they didn't really have Tychus in a good position. So Dahaka's going to pick up the siege camp in the bottom lane. Again, just continuing that pressure as the conflagration going out onto Diablo from that Molten Flame. Just going to be a slight waiting game until either CCS gets a kill or 30K is able to get level 20. Coming out of the bunker is Blaze. Diablo looking for the charge, gets the kill out onto Uther. He does have redemption, so he'll be back, but that's a 3-minute cooldown, and that's a huge win for 30K, but they're still down level 20 talents. Uther already back, and it took both the bunker and the Apocalypse to secure that kill. Put those away for a bit. So 30K really maybe trying to find if they can get this Vala, who's rather far forward from the rest of the team. Instead, they're looking for the Dahaka. Heading down, has the adaptation, procs that, so that's one ultimate. That's a very short cooldown with the level 20, though. Yeah, 40 seconds, so it's like a 20-second cooldown. Well, Diablo gets caught as the fort going down. Nintori now in danger as Blaze coming in has the big root, but it's not going to be enough as Lily going to fall now. Next, Hacho taking a lot of damage there. Got down to about half health. Odin coming out to try to stall this push. Diablo charging in looking for that Vola, but not enough. They have to play very carefully here because Odin is probably the only thing keeping their core alive, at least for the moment. Adaptation used there once again by the Dahaka. And Diablo trying to find somebody. Tassadar getting his Shockray quest complete. And the core now down out of shields. Still a long time before Deckard or Blaze, so this is all it. Deathwing gonna fall to the core though. Dahaka trying to burrow and use that adaptation to get as much as possible out onto the core. You see the pings calling for Vala. She's definitely doing some damage, but it's gonna be Dahaka who's gonna finish the job on the core. The sleep coming in, but it's just not enough. And this game going over to CCS, evening out our score 1-1 in this best of 3. And it looks like the game crashed. Well, that's fun. Well, we don't get stats. Sorry, guys. Give this a moment to get loaded back up. So that was quite the turnaround from game number 1. CCS absolutely looking dominant throughout the full game. They put the gas on early and never took it off. And didn't even lose their first hero. It wasn't the very end there. There must have been one before that because they only got 3 at the end there. But didn't even lose their first hero until very, very deep into the game. The Master Assassin for Tychus not quite able to get that Odin value for them. Ah, dang, that stinks. I would have liked to have looked at the builds. But you can rewind if you want to take a look at the talents. Just go back a bit. Those talents should be on the VOD. All right, checking in to see if we've got anything from. Let me know. Okay, there we go. Looks like they're ready to go. Okay. All right, so we're going to Tomb of the Spider Queen. All right, there we go. Oh, that's right. Thank you, Goliath. That's why I couldn't remember who died, because he didn't really die. He just came right back. Good point. Good point. Let's see who picked this. Hopefully that was the only time that's going to disconnect for me. All right, let's take a look at the maps here as we get the last couple people into the lobby. So game number 1 there was picked and won by 30K on Battlefield of Eternity. Can't censorship. They picked and won Infernal Shrines. So both of the Diablo maps out, as are a few Diablo heroes now that I think about it. Our bans, Braxis Holdout and Sky Temple for 30K. CCS, they banned out Garden of Terror and Alterac Pass. Our final game of this series gonna be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. One of these teams selected Tomb of the Spider Queen. I do not know which one. But I'll let you know in a moment, because surely they're gonna tell me. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like red team picked Tomb of the Spider Queen. So, Captain. Okay, so we've got everybody here. We're going into game 3. Just need to get the readies from each of the teams. Then we'll get this going. Who are you guys here rooting for? I see Wits End shouting for CCS. Do you have a preference? Maybe you're just watching for the game, love of the game, or for scouting purposes. Looks like it's good. All right, that's it. We're ready. We're going into game number 3 on Tomb of the Spider Queen right now. Right now. There we go. Don't worry, it'll load. Cheering for Artanis. I'm with you. I'm with you, Crush. I want to see somebody play this new Artanis. Well, adjusted Artanis. I want to see how that plays out. Slexia coming in with the 30K. If they're going to be the first ban. Sticking with the healers and or tank. But ultimately identifying Uther as one of the strong points there in their draft for CCS last game. Cheekies for 30K as well. All right, and it looks like both teams now sticking with the healer bans. Stukov was banned out last game. Oh, really? The last 2 games, right? Yeah, last 2 games by 30K. So they're going to get the opportunity to pick something else for their first round of bans. Now everybody else has the chance to literally be unstoppable, right, Crush? Gonna be Johanna ban. Johanna does really well on Tomb of the Spider Queen, able to rotate and help to clear the waves rather quickly. See if I can host NGS. I think I can. And Junkrat going up. And again, just for many of the same reasons that I think Junkrat's really strong on Infernal Shrines, he's also quite strong here, providing the vision, and this is a small map, so getting Concussion Mind into, you know, certain areas, you can set those plays up really well. So I really like getting rid of that Junkrat. Hogger going to be the first pick, going over for Kelsier. Hogger was banned out the first game and the second game, so Kelsier says, all right, clearly you don't want me to have it, so I'm going to take it. Both of these heroes also were banned last game, getting the Brightwing and Chromie. I don't think we saw... I don't think we saw either of those heroes in their last week match for CCS. Anduin and Stitches. Is this a kidnap? Could we see kidnap? It's not a kidnap, right? That'd be silly. Could be some light bomb onto Hogger action. Throw that in as he goes to use that Hortipult into the enemy team. But I imagine we're going to get somebody else. Tyga's going to be the third and final ban here of the night for CCS. Still have Lily and Carbon to pick. Lily could, you know, maybe look at that Genji again. Although maybe less optimal against the Brightwing. If you get a Genji with a light bomb. Chromie, of course, has those time traps as well, so expect to see that as a defensive measure for their backline as well. And our picks 3 and 4 coming up for CCS. Gonna be the Anubarak and Blaze, so switching sides. Lots of CC from Can't Censorship, and they can set that all up with time traps. Team fight potential looks really strong for CCS, and they still have another pick. That said, 30K has some pretty good route follow-up. And there you go. There's your dive hero coming in with the Tracer. They've also got that Sylvanas, so both of those heroes could, in theory, get into a backline, get a kill, and then escape out. Gonna have to be careful of Brightwing's Polymorph and Chromie's time traps. Blaze, of course, with the bunker can help with the pulse bombs, or even that light bomb. Last pick, going over to Marla. Marlowe, it's going to be Greymane. So with that CC chain, I mean, Greymane Chromie can absolutely delete anybody on the side of 30K. If they can land the combos. Tracer getting polymorphed could be really rough. One additional follow-up stun and Tracer's just toast. And I should make sure they didn't change. Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah, looks good. Okay, good stuff. All right, this is it. Game 3 hype. Who do you think is going to win between these two teams? Both have pretty similar-ish wave clear. Tanks with wave clear. Either way, it's going to be an exciting game. Game number 3 between 30K and CCS. Let's get started. 30K on the left. It's going to be Kelsier on the Hogger. We got Lily playing the Tracer. Lupus on the Stitches. Carbon going to be on that Sylvanas. And Anduin going to be played by Nintori. And to the right, we've got CCS. It's going to be Nano on the Chromie. Marlowe on Greymane. Zenaris on Brightwing. Hotcho on Anubarak. And Nathanatos on the Blaze. Any pleb horses? We had some pleb horses earlier, but I don't think we... Yeah, no pleb horses here today. Chromie has a very nice, not pleb horse. Last game took about 30 seconds for CCS to find themselves an early kill. And right now we see just a call for the time trap, letting them know that, hey, this is where this is taking place. Watch out when you're coming through here, but also vision. Blaze coming up to help the Tracer. Tracer trying to get that pulse bomb charged up a bit here. As a rotation coming in, Greymane looking for Tracer, does get the dive, the root coming out there as well. Hogger trying to get the stun, couldn't quite get it now, but the Polymorph coming out onto Anduin, and with the Dragon's Breath, nearly securing the kill. Blaze going to get the Phase Shift coming in from Brightwing. Let's take a look at those talents again. So Hyper Shift, the selection for Brightwing. Not too long ago, she did get a slight nerf to that Hyper Shift talent, so not 10% anymore, it's 8%. A couple of other slight adjustments to her kit there as well. Looks like Blaze gonna head down just to make sure that nobody's on this siege camp. Hogger instead working on the night camp over here. And I'm not positive. I was gonna say I think Hogger needs a little bit of help now. Like once he gets out of the unstoppable, I think he pretty much needs that assistance. So gonna be able to pick up the camp here. On the other side though, CCS doing the same thing. And they've got Greymane with Brightwing, a little bit faster for them to do that, so those night camps will meet in the middle with 3 heroes from 30k meeting up with Blaze in the bot lane. Hogger going to pick up another Siege Giant camp this time in the bottom lane, as the rest of the team just providing kind of enough pressure to keep CCS away from that siege camp. So that'll go down in the middle. Gem count 30 to 29, very even. No deaths yet, so nobody has a real advantage. And both teams able to clear out the bruiser camps in the mid lane. A little bit of a turn attempt coming in from Hotcho is gonna get him. 8 gems turned in for the Anubarak. 9 though by Tracer. Hogger looking for that Blaze, getting that stun out of his staggering blow, but just a bit outside, just like we saw with the Blaze in the last game, just slightly off of the angle. But Brightwing coming down to see if they can just heal up the Blaze, maybe potentially if they stuck it out, try to stall out or secure a kill. But here comes the rest of the rotation. Stitch is a little bit behind, walking the entire way here, so continues to stay pretty far behind. Zenaris though, look at that. Tracer with that pulse bomb nearly taking out the Brightwing. Hooking out on a Greymane. Greymane says, hey, I'll dive in onto you, Hogger. Get that 10 armor as well, being in the Worgen form. Level 7's coming up soon here as Sylvanas versus Chromie in the offlane. Not a common matchup, but keeps your I guess neither is that normally their off lane. A lot of the fight taking place in the bottom lane. However, we have enough gems now for a turn on the side of 30k. Greymane turning in enough to get to the 20 mark out of 50, so 40%. And we're getting turn in again. So both teams continuing to get gems turned in, 35 to 30. Anubarak, however, in danger, gets caught by the root, and that's going to be first blood. So right at the 420 mark, you know what to do with that. Whatever you do with 420. 49 gems turned in for 30k. Just one more to get their first web weavers, and looks like they don't really have anybody in a good position to do so, but they also might want to wait. That's going to give CCS the first web weaver. And the reason why they may want to wait, they've got it at 49. I mean, they can't be any closer. So waiting for that, waiting until they can get 10, means that they can make better use of the Sylvanas pressure when those web weavers come up. So I don't know if that's intentional or not. I hope it is, because I really like it. But Brightwing, they're going to save the day for Greymane with that Pixie Dust. Big stun coming in, looking for an Nintari, and Anduin going down. But so is Anubarak, so 1-for-1 trade. But that kind of favors, I feel like, the red team. They've got the web weavers to put out pressure here. And getting a kill means that the blue team has to be a little bit more careful anytime they are anywhere near the CCS squad. Gelsier able to take out the bottom lane web weaver. All of the web weavers cleaned up here. So only a little bit of real appreciated structure damage. Mid wall completely gone. Bot lane also completely gone on the wall, but that's it. But Bruiser Camp's coming up, and level 10's just around the corner for both teams. Oh, Sylvanas getting taken out here is a big loss. Web Weavers are going to be out on the map, but they're not going to have quite the same amount of pressure with Sylvanas dead for the next 10 seconds. Level 10's up, though. Tracer going to get caught by the stun, and Nubrak with the burrow as well. But no damage nearby to be able to get that kill. Bruiser Camp now meeting up in the mid lane with the Web Weavers, and Sylvanas going to make it onto the map here. So it'll be interesting to see if she comes with her team or if she instead splits to go up to the top lane. And it looks like that's what she's doing, going top to provide that extra siege value for the Web Weaver to push into the top lane. It's Noah. Okay, thanks. Mid lane cleared up. Sylvanas getting that front wall down up in the top here. Checking in on the cooldown on her Black Arrow. So 20 seconds still on Black Arrow. So this is just whatever she can get onto the fort. And that's going to be it. Fort's going to go down. Right? There it is. So quite a bit of value out of that Sylvanas play. And looking for there's the hook onto a Nubrak. The big root, and that's it. The cocoon out onto Sylvanas was not enough to matter. Great play by 30k with that wall gank. Not even a bush gank. Just hanging out of line of sight, waiting for whoever may come by. But with that kill, Hogger's down there to deal with the pressure that Blaze put out. But that leaves open mid-fort, and with Sylvanas once again able to use that Black Arrows, they're going to be able to take out another fort here. Or all the minions will die, and they will just barely not get it. How much does this have? 40 health. Quite healthy. The healthiest fort of the game at this point, as far as anybody cares. There's no catapults coming from it, so may as well have full health. A lot of rotation looking for the Hogger. They've got the Greymane nearby, looking for... Well, there's the hook out onto a Nubrak, but there's no root this time. Phase Shift coming in. Cocoon going out onto Stitches. He does have Gorge, by the way. Carbon trying to make it out, doesn't have Wave, but is going to get just enough healing to stay alive. Hogger with the Hortipult going to be able to make it out. Nathanatos very low on the Blaze, receiving some of that blink healing. But this time, Greymane caught, and Stitches is just walking it back. Has the Greymane, and Marlowe going to go down. Leap of Faith coming out onto Kelsier to keep him safe. As, you know what, Tracer just going into that backline. Has no care in the world. But Sylvanas can't quite get in there with that Light Bomb, but it did force out the bunker. So, fair trade. Light Bomb is similar but shorter cooldown than the bunker. That being said, rotation coming into the bottom here. This is 3v2. Hogger can make it out. Had that desperate prayer, but here comes the phase shift onto a Nubrak with Stitches coming in from above. Tracer taking a full blast right to the face from Nano. Chromie doing some work onto that Tracer. That said, this is now about to be a battle of the ages. Blaze coming in from behind, gets a stun onto the Anduin. Kelsier's going to be able to use that Hortipult to get out. Got rid of the Hortipult, it looks like, to make sure that Anduin could come through, but instead went around the long way. I expected that to be more, but they just left and said, this is not our time. But Tracer and Sylvanas able to pick up the Web Weavers and push up both of the lanes. A lot of pressure in mid and top lanes, with Sylvanas pressuring up into the top with that wave, already able to take out most of the wall. One tower, most of the second tower, and the wall. So that top keep is exposed. And that needs to be addressed, but ultimately, CCS looking here. Chromie getting caught does have timeout, so she's able to survive for a moment, but not long enough. Hogger's going to get that kill, and Nubrak's going to come out. Do they have the root? Well, they've got the Light Bomb, slightly mistimed, but they get the staggering blow into the wall. A double kill here for 30k, looking super strong with the Web Weavers providing pressure up in that top lane. I mean, you see the pings here. They're calling for it. Need to defend that. Ultimately losing the one keep for sure. Probably the second keep as well. And if 30k can get 16 here, they may continue looking. And they're going to get it in a moment, but I don't know if they stick around. Everybody's back here on CCS side. Blaze going to charge in. That might be enough to convince them to stay. And it looks like they kind of want this. Phase shift coming out, does get out there. They get the stun and a pause. Anduin has left the game. We got a DC. Unfortunate. Anduin right. Anduin's a dead boy. He's right in the middle of all kinds of red health bars. I don't know that there's much of a difference that could have been had there. He looks like he DC'd about 3 seconds ago. So maybe he'd be a little bit farther away, but it looks overall not very good for our friend Anduin. Current King of Stormwind anyways. Kind of. His lore is kind of all screwy now with the Shadowlands. And of course, he's sitting here allying with Sylvanas. A very not appropriate thing to do. Although, I guess they're working together, kind of. He's kind of coerced into working together, right? Like, that's how this is all working out currently. I don't know how many of you people are Warcraft players or even follow any of, you know, what's going on over there, but it's a hot mess. We'll go with that. Let's see. So, why don't we talk about some of the stats here? I might actually be able to show this. Hold on. We'll just show this. Yeah, that works. Excellent. I'll get rid of the chat for the moment. So you can see the talents here, and let's go to stats. The mod binds to attack correct nearest target with Tracer Engine. Missed autos in BOE and here. Pass it on. Says retired hero. Well, there you go. I might need to check that too, because that happens to me all the time, and I hate it. It's so irritating. Show off these talents again. So, just double checking. So, Blaze had some adjustments today. Is that it? Is that the only hero that had some adjustments that's in this game right now? Let's look. Oh, they're ready to go. Let's get back into the game. Game. We're in the game. No, we're not. There's the game. That's what I get for having the chat off. All right, so we get the Anduin kill. We get the Stitches kill. Somewhat as expected, as described. And with those kills, CCS going to be able to pick up a boss. They also have now just enough gems for a turn-in. And it looks like 30k knows that they're at the boss. I mean, that's the place that makes sense for them to be. So they're going to pick up the double bruiser camp in the mid lane. Still a lot of pressure for them to deal with in a boss Web Weaver combo in the top lane, but having double bruiser pressure in the mid lane is pretty much going to stall out that mid pretty heavily. Rotation coming in though. Yeah, I was going to say it looked like maybe they were looking to fight. Anubrak getting knocked back there by Hogger. Zoom back in so we can see what's going on. Boss, nice easy free clear here because of that double bruiser camp. Hogger in the bottom lane gonna at least stall things out. But the rotation now with Hogger down below. Everybody from CCS making their way up here looking for a stun, maybe a poly out onto the Tracer. And we see Tracer trying to just juke whatever Anubrak was looking to throw out. But with the fort still up, wasn't really a great position to get that. Hogger having to retreat from mid lane, and now both teams here, level 16, fully equal on talents. Greymane and Brightwing coming down looking for the Hogger. We have the Cursed Bullet missing there as Kelsier trying to use that Hog Wild to get out. Ended up having to use the Hortipult. But Hortipult's a 60-second cooldown, so it's not too bad. He's able to use that again pretty soon. As just the one Webweaver left, it'll be done here pretty soon. And CCS setting up for the siege camp. And that's it. That's the only thing on the map for them to do. At this point, both teams looking for level 20. The lanes a little bit far forward, of course, because of the web weavers, onto the side of 30k, so they may have a little bit easier time of it. Phase Shift coming in with a double stun, Leap of Faith pulling the stitches out. Cocoon getting out onto Sylvana. She's going to come out in just a moment, but uses that Will of the Forsaken to get out of the Chromie slows. But Blaze with the clutch jet propulsion is going to get that kill out onto Sylvanas. Greymane chasing after Hogger while Hacho in danger. Again, the jet propulsion there doing a lot of work. Tracer having to use that recall. Hogger gonna use that Hortipult. As mentioned, it's a short cooldown. The hunt is on for the Scourge of Elwyn Forest here. Gonna get a double stun in Kelsier. Not long for this one. And just like we saw Nathanatos last game able to get out of some pretty sticky situations at just the last moment there, Tracer turning the tables on Blaze, able to juke that jet propulsion. And it's easy to see pauses in games can, even if it's not for a DC, certainly DCs make it worse. Tracer gonna get caught by that stun there. A lot of damage coming out. Gets the Gorge out onto the Greymane, but the slows coming in, making it very difficult to get out. A huge light bomb. Can they secure the kill though? They do finish it off. Greymane taken out, and that is absolutely massive for 30k. Continuing to look for more as they get the hook out onto Blaze with the bunker though, and the pull back. What happened there? I don't understand what happened. Did Blaze jet propulsion in? Well, Blaze is dead anyways. Also, by the way, all the time there, Catapult's doing work onto the core. So with Anubarak, Brightwing, and Chromie, they're trying to race back to kill off the Catapults, but 65% with no shield, and there's Tracer looking for Chromie. Phase Shift coming out to keep her nice and safe. As again, 65% level 20s here for 30k. They're trying to push in onto the core. There's no shielding and a long time before Greymane is back. Hortipult there. Kelsier going into the back, trying to make sure that there's a lot of disruption, and now Nintori trying to stay away on the Anduin. Light bomb coming in, and it's not going to matter. 30k taking it 2-1 over CCS. So what I was going to say before they rudely interrupted me and flipped the script was that it's very easy for a pause to disrupt the entire flow of a game, and you can see a team that's winning the entire game suddenly lose the game. And sometimes it could be because of a disconnect, maybe, you know, a bad position for a hero. Sometimes you just lose the momentum, right? You give your opponent the opportunity to recover, and all of a sudden the game changes. So, you know, for 30k, it did flip a little bit for them, but they ultimately were able to pick it up and finish the job. So we'll see if we can get one of these teams into or not one of these teams, one of the players from 30k. Let's see. All right. Show these again. Since we didn't get the opportunity to see the stats last game, now we get an extra opportunity for stats this game.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, welcome. So we've got Kelsier from 30k here. Congratulations. That was quite a set.
Yeah, for sure.
So, tell me a little bit about your planning for this. This is a little bit of a different scenario than, like doing a regular league or like a CCL or something like that. So how do you change things up so that you play effectively or, kind of showcase your talent a little bit differently in something like this?
Yeah, so funny story, I guess kind of involving CCL. Porky, our main healer, got promoted to he's playing with 30K boys for the DreamHack thing. So we were kind of a little bit what's the word, like frazzled? Yeah, we were frazzled for today going into it because we were kind of like trying out new roster things and it worked out. And yeah, that's the biggest thing, I guess, for prep today. We had like a new teammate and everything, and we had to get the new dynamics down and stuff like that.
Sure. So you guys had 2 games which were very, favorable for you, and then 1 game that didn't quite go well for you. We'll put it that way. And while normally I wouldn't want to dwell on the challenging aspects of a match because of what we're talking about, what the games that we lose oftentimes are the areas where we learn the most. So what are some of the things that you pick up on from that second game on Infernal Shrines that can make it so that next time it's a 2-0 victory for you?
Funny enough, like I think so everyone's gonna point at the Uther. I actually don't think the Uther was the problem there. I think it was the kind of the Ana pairing with the Deathwing. Like if it was just Uther Ana or there was just Uther Deathwing, that's way more manageable. But having both those heroes, the Deathwing just like he peels so hard, or like he just zones so incredibly. And then if you like go and super hard dive someone at what Ana has a cleanse 13, like 50 armor, remove stuns. It's kind of insane. So having the combination of us not really being able to go in there because Deathwing is just zoning, and even if we do, like when the dives we do get, they just get immediately cleansed 50 armor from our Ana. That combination just kind of made it really lethal for Shrines because we couldn't actually fight over a point. They had just so much zoning on there. So I guess that's the main thing. That's a pretty lethal, I would say, 2 heroes together, at least in the Uther comp specifically, right. Ana and Deathwing.
Sure, and then you guys come out. So game 1 was a little bit kind of back and forth. Game 2 was very heavily in their favor. Game 3 was very much in your favor right up until the disconnect. So when you get to game 3, you've had some time to kind of get things together. And is this how you expected, like, draft wise to go top to bottom for you guys, or again, like you said, you were kind of feeling some things out, so was there some significant adjustments that you had to make because of like an early Brightwing Chromie that maybe made some changes to that?
Honestly, dude, the draft for game 3 kind of just went how we wanted it to, really, all around. I mean, it was kind of all the heroes that we wanted we ended up getting, which we take. Sure.
So we've got a mix of people out there watching. Obviously, some people scouting, some people rooting for you, some people are rooting for them, and presumably some people who are just looking to get their game better. With the changes that came out today, did you guys get a chance to look over some of those changes? And if so, any particular standout heroes that you think are going to be higher priority, higher value that they should be looking for?
Yeah, for sure. I think notably, I mean, everyone's kind of talking about the Jaina set almost for the wrong reasons. Like, it's bugged out the wazoo right now, and it's incredible. But I think the Jaina, my prediction for Jaina as she settles in the meta when she gets hot fixed, hopefully, is that I think that 7 talent is gonna lead her to be a very prominent team fight mage, or like a combo mage, because the combo with her, all you need to do is have 2 chilled targets and you can chain root someone for 6 seconds, like bug or no bug. So I think that's my biggest takeaway from the patch notes, is that Jaina might see some more play in the future. And I guess also I think our Tennessee build is broken. Those are the 2 biggest ones.
Awesome. All right. Well, we've got some other games that are going to be coming up here shortly, so we'll go ahead and wrap up. Any shout-outs for the evening?
For sure, man. Shout out to my team for keeping it cool, keeping it breezy with a bit of hectic roster swaps and stuff. Shout out to the enemy team. They played very good games, and they just absolutely clapped us game 2. Shout out to you, man, for casting. Always much appreciated, and all the viewers and stuff. And shout out to FreePX, twitch.tv/FreePX for all the best HOTS content. That's really all I've got to say, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me. Have a great evening. And I don't recall if I'll be casting you guys here soon, but I think there's 2 or 3 teams that I cast like 3 times. So maybe we'll be chatting again here in the future.
All right, man. Yeah, take it easy.
See ya. All right, so that's it for us. We've got 30K 2 can't censorship 1 in this best of 3 matchup. Really fantastic games. If you didn't get a chance to watch all of them, I mean, go back and watch them. It was a lot of fun to cast and very back and forth between this set. So I don't know why that ticker's still there. That should have been turned off a while ago. But anyways, you can ignore the ticker that's been going on for the last 10 minutes. We've got Crushinator coming up. The next match, I believe, is just a exhibition kind of thing. It's not part of specifically the HCI. And then after that, they'll be going into the 3rd match for the evening because there was one of the teams dropped out. So I believe so Storm versus somebody. I apologize, I don't know who it is. And then PR Esports versus Regen will be coming up after that. Crushinator's going to be casting for you tonight. Thanks everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.